So then, back out after a long hibernation. Now, if you're a newbie to my channel, thanks for checking it out. I hope that I do Eskdale and the place that I'm heading, I hope I do it justice. And if you're back after my big absence, then thanks for coming back and hope you enjoy it as much as the old stuff that I used to do. It does feel weird to be back after all this time, and I'm a bit nervous as well. But I always love being out in the wild, and already, you know, the lakes are just, we all know how stunning they are. And this side of the lakes, they're a lot quieter, you know, because even just getting here actually, it was a right mission. And I've parked just below, as you saw, Hard Knock Pass. You can probably hear that is the River Esk behind me. Plenty of people further down having a bit of a dip. I think Tongue Pot, it's a famous dipping spot. Don't know if I've reached that yet or whether I've already gone past it, but there seems to be less people. Anyway, we'll keep fighting gravity and I'll catch up with you a bit further up the trail. Well, it would seem that Jurassic Park is in the Lake District National Park. Flipping heck. This reminds me of last year when I was on the island of Jura. Midge infested. I mean, it was a beautiful place. Had a great, epic couple of days. But yeah, midge infested at that time of year. And these ferns, they were, or bracken, whatever you want to call it. They were taller than me. They were 6 foot plus. These are not quite severe, but yeah. Oh, it's always good. I did a run this morning actually, about 8 miles along the coast, down near, where was it? Whitehaven. That was all up and down. So feeling it already a little bit in the legs, but it's all good. It's all good training and all good for the fitness. Right. Well, still plodding uphill. Bracken hasn't left me behind, but the people certainly have. Past the last few, probably about 10 minutes back. And now I might as well be the last person in the whole of this national park. No signs of anybody anywhere. Just as the doctor ordered. I've got to say, it's quite slow going, not because of how steep it is, but because I keep pausing to look back and admire the view that I've worked really hard to earn. I mean, look at it. I'm not even going to try and use some superlatives to try and describe it. I'll leave you to do that, but yeah, every direction, you've just got crags, the odd few little white dots where the sheep are, and the river as well below. Amazing. Right, unless I come across anything like staggering between here and my destination, I'll see you up at the Great Moss. Well, what can I say? I couldn't resist getting the camera out yet again before I made it up to the Great Moss, just because of the views. You know, not only did I have those rapids and the valley I was in, but the view beyond just opened up. You can see over as far as Scuffle Pike. It was absolutely stunning. And yeah, as I turned a bend, as you can see here, I stumbled across another camper. This guy's name was Dave, really friendly guy, had some great music playing as well. The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News was going. He offered me a pitch, but I fancied sort of just pushing on, left him to it, and yeah, fancied a bit of peace and quiet. And yeah, the ground was pretty boggy as I sort of passed sort of where he was. But yeah, as I cracked on, it did get a little bit better. And yeah, we'll turn the next bend and you'll see what I came across. Yep, turned the bend, and yeah, all of these rapids that I've been following all the way up just come to an end, because you guessed it, I've made it to Great Moss, or should that be translated the Great Bog. Crossed a fair bit of that already, in between sort of where Dave the camper was pitched up and where I am now. There was actually a patch a bit further back nearer to him where I was going to pitch, but I thought I'd come around to check it out, and I'm glad that I have, because look at all of these summits along here. This ridge line up here, this is over this is somewhere just under 800 metres, I think. And then as we make our way around, you guessed it, that is the Scarfell Massif over there. And I think if you go around, you've got Bowfell. I've bivvied up there before. And then if you keep going around, you can't quite see it here, but yeah, Crinkle Crags. What a stunning spot. No one around. So let's do battle with the bog and see if I can find a camp spot. If not, I'll just head back to where I was before, because it looked pretty decent. Well, come down to meander, first one. And I reckon this has got to be the camp spot. I mean, it's a bit lumpy in places and there's quite a lot of animal excrement, should we say. But there's no bog. And the view in every direction is just staggering. Let me give you the 360 before we get the tent up. location Great Moss is, I'm sure you'll agree. But as cracking as it is, I've decided that camp spot I could do better. So actually, you guessed it, I packed the waterproof shoes, so I thought I might as well use them. Here goes, I'm gonna cross. Oh, pretty nippy. There's a great little patch on the other side. From here at least, it looks like there's been no animals this side, so it's certainly more of a poo-free zone, which is, yeah, I reckon that's got to be a better camp, doesn't it? Oh, and this would be a great place to wake up in the morning, maybe even have a dip. Anyway, now that I've picked a new place, we'll get ourselves over there, we'll get the tent up, and then we can just chill out and we can relax. For once, actually, if you have seen it in my other videos, you'll know that I'm always usually running late, and by the time I get the tent up, half the night's gone. But it's only 6:30 now, so I can really keep back, relax. I've got another good sort of couple of hours of daylight just to enjoy this amazing view. Right then, we'll stop waffling. Let's do battle with this tent. So here she sits. It was actually a lot easier to get this tent up than I thought it would be. I think part of that is just due to the wind, the fact that there isn't really very much, and the midges were starting to hone in as well. So, and that with the rain that started to come down, yeah, it gave me every incentive to speed myself up. If I come a bit closer, actually, I mean, that view is right up there as one of the best that I think I've ever experienced on a camp. I'm sure you'd agree that is hard to top. It's great, actually, just a sense of space. Sometimes it's nice to camp right next to a mountain. Sometimes, obviously, being on a summit's incredible, but sometimes just seeing them from a distance like this as well is equally sort of magnificent. But anyway, enough of those powerful adjectives. Yeah, if I show you these pegs, they weren't that easy to get in. I had a feeling that was going to be the case. But thankfully, just getting some of these little boulders down here, hammered them in, and it should do the job. Only little thing is, actually, I forgot, the last time I camped, actually, it was really windy, and actually one of the poles are bent, so you can probably make out that actually one part of the tent is lower than the other. I'm just hoping that, yeah, it's probably a bit weaker, but it's not meant to be too windy, so I'm sure we'll be good. Anyway, all this work is hungry work, so I need to get some grub on. Got a dehydrated dinner, proper luxury tonight. Let's get the water boiled up. And of course, the jet boil has come out of retirement as well. I think it must have been feeling a bit sorry for itself, just being stuck in the cupboard for getting on for a good part of a year. But it's still working well. Plenty of gas there, actually, that my fantastic parents got for me at Christmas when I headed off to the Cairngorms. Loads of gas left in it, and it's all working well. But if you're wondering why I'm cooking indoors, well, say indoors, inside the tent in August, it's because of the midges. I tried it outside with that amazing view, and they were just ruining it, as they always do. So, yeah, in I came. Plenty of ventilation, though, so it's perfectly safe. And, yeah, with that mozzie net there, they can't get to me, so I'm nice and safe. Water's close to boiling. Got to wait until it starts sort of tumbling over. You've got to leave it, I think it's a good 20 seconds or so, 20 to 30 seconds, when it really starts to bubble before it's safe to drink and use. And then once I've done that, and let me show you what I've got for dinner. Here we go. Chicken keema curry. Well, it is a Saturday night. And to go with that, there will also be a nice brew dog as well. Not being very creative, but you can't go wrong with a Hazy Jane. Good amount of strength, 5%, and yeah, always goes down well for an evening in the tent. Right then, next you see me, I'll probably be filling my face. Oh, finally, feeding time. It's really annoying when you pour the water into these things. You've got to sit and wait 8 minutes, which always seems like an eternity, no matter how many times you do it. But yeah, I've had loads of these fire pot meals before, but not this particular one. So let's have a mouthful, and I'll let you know what I think. Oh, that's pretty good. But it always helps when you're hungry. But yeah, I mean, the Star of Bengal, it certainly isn't. I mean, I've got no poppadoms, no pashwari naan, which would just top it off perfectly. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy this, and it is. I mean, if you're doing one of these multi-day hikes, you know, if you're not already aware, I mean, these pack in quite a lot of calories. This one's got 550. So I mean, if you packed a couple of these, you know, you'd be if you're burning the energy, these will certainly do the job. Oh, how could I forget? I'm hoping this doesn't go everywhere when I open it. Fingers crossed. Nope, we're all good. Cheers. Oh, beer is always the first beer when you've not had a beer. Well, it's beer, I say actually I drank quite a lot actually the other night. Stayed up at the Tan Hill Inn with my mate. The highest pub in, well, if it's not the United Kingdom, it's definitely the highest pub in England. Just beats the Cat and Fiddle when it was a pub. And yeah, I mean, we filled our boots, a couple of pints of Old Peculiar, Theakson's Old Peculiar, really good beer. But even so, walking up here, putting the tent up, it makes the beer taste really, really good. Right, there's only so much of watching me eat that you can probably do before you get bored. So, yeah, I polish this off, just sit back and relax, and I shall catch up with you probably once my stomach is filled. See you in a bit. With the tummy filled, I couldn't spend the rest of the evening in the tent, not in August. So the best thing to do was just to head out, put my mat down and enjoy a good book, good beer, and of course those amazing views. And with the river flowing just in front of me, it was so relaxing. And yeah, as I read away, I just waited for the light to fade. It was great. Well, good morning. Can you hear that? I'm sure you probably can, but just in case you can't, it is piddling down, Lake District style, and in fact it has been for the last couple of hours. And as you'd expect, up in the mountains, not even forecast. The weather is meant to go downhill later today and overnight, but yeah, this morning was meant to be pretty settled. It might still be when I get back to the car down in the Dale, but up here, yeah, the mountains produce their own weather. So I've laid in a bit later than expected. Ended up with about a 9.5 hour sleep, which has been absolute bliss. Clearly, after harrowing the body for the last few days with the cycling, the running and everything else, yeah, the rest was needed. But yeah, I'm going to force myself up now, go and get some water from the burn to make myself a coffee, and then get some porridge on as well, fill the boots, and then get back to the motor. So let's get the day moving. The porridge certainly hit the spot. And so, yeah, once I finished breakfast, there was only one thing to do, and that was to head up the hill behind where I'd pitched the tent, just to admire where I was. Annoyingly, I tried to get the drone out, and it wasn't working, so this was the next best option. I'm sure you'd agree, it was a cracking pitch, and it was even all the better from looking at it from this point of view. Yeah, eventually I had to drag myself away, pack the tent away, and of course leave no trace, as you're meant to do. And then it was a case of heading on back towards the car. The views all the way back were still just tremendous. And it just topped off what had already been a fantastic trip. So, heading back to the car, taking a different route this time, just because you get the different views. An out and back sometimes you've got to do it, but if you could do a circular, I always prefer it. But yeah, I reckon I'll wrap up the video here. Hopefully you've enjoyed it as much as I have. As I've already mentioned, best sleep in absolutely ages. And with scenery like that behind, just look at it. Fantastic. This area is right up there with anywhere else I've been in the lakes. And even actually, like the Highlands of Scotland. I mean, yeah, it covers a much bigger area. And you've got the lochs and everything there as well, but this is still stunning. So yeah, I'll quit the waffling. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. And again, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Always much appreciated. And yeah, I won't be leaving it as long until the next trip out. Take care, guys. And if you're out there, enjoy yourself.